And welcome back to Daytime London on Facebook and on Twitter. In fact, I just tweeted something very interesting about this going away.
Maybe that it's going to be disappearing anytime soon.
Yes, about, what, 30 minutes from now, maybe 25, the stashes will be gone at Rogers TV, and a few of the London Knights will be getting rid of the stash as well for November.
Looking forward to that. Also looking forward to a little chat here with Kari from Empower Conditioning. It's good to see you, Kari.
You too. You'd be faster without the stash.
You think so? More aerodynamic?
Yeah. Well, we're going to talk about speed, so you're going to be faster, definitely.
All right, let's talk about speed and agility training. There are obviously some specific things we can do to improve our speed and our agility.
Yeah. So what we're going to talk about today is just little agility speed training on using tools like a ladder, using tools like a mini hurdle, using a little box. So we put Sabrina through the paces, put her through a few things. It was fun.
You know what I found?
Fun for whom?
Dance steps.
It was a lot of fun, but I have a competitive side to me, and I found that once you added some sort of element of competition to whatever we were doing, I stepped up my game a little more.
Yeah.
And do you find that when you are doing the training that you give your clients a challenge that way?
Absolutely, absolutely. We'll end up putting one client against another client. We'll put athletes against each other. It makes a huge difference. We have a record board in the gym, and once I told Sabrina what the record was for a particular movement she was doing, she basically said, I want to do it again. I'm going to do this again. Yes. And away she went.
And I improved my time, right?
Huge.
By like a good couple seconds too.
And part of that is her drive. So the drive that you were thinking, okay, I'm going to do better here. And part of it is the neurological adaptation. So she learned the step the first go round. She couldn't really push herself yet because her brain was going, okay, how do I do this? Where's my coordination? And she had that step now, and then she had the drive and the coordination, and away she went, and she cut 3 seconds off, I'm sure.
Plus, it's goal setting, right?
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, over the long haul with training, she would be able to get faster, but that initial increase in speed was a neurological effect, a learning effect, a very fast learning curve. So that's what happened there, but then in the long run, you could add training, and then that training is going to shave another 1/10 of a second off, a little more, a little more.
Okay, I got to know, did you even come close to any of the records?
No, not really. I mean,
not yet. Not
Kari
yet,
here
right?
trains
Not
those
yet.
athletes as well. So you took me through a couple exercises. We'll have a look at some of them, and maybe you can walk us through what we're doing here. So this was the ladder that we used, right?
So we did a little agility ladder, a little run through there. So more coordination, but having to repeat that movement. So practicing that movement so that when it comes to doing it on court or whatever you're doing, then you don't have to think about it. Here's a little mini hurdles. So little agility hurdles, getting over them. If you can get your foot over that mini hurdle, you're going to be faster moving it without an obstacle there, right?
Right.
So same thing, just added a different step, so different patterns, different movements.
Now this is the challenge here.
Yeah.
This was where. What's the record for this one?
Okay, the record just got broken on Monday by a national team rugby player, and he posted 8.38 for the male. We have an over 18 and under 18 male and an over 18, under 18 female. And he posted a faster record of 8.38.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
And you were somewhere around probably about the 12-ish seconds, and it's there and back fast as you can. Yeah, you just cut those seconds off.
Well, the first time I did it, it was
you cut off 3 seconds.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah.
So that definitely, putting that competitive edge to it helps.
Certainly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, for the average person who is not an elite athlete, how important is this? I mean, if I basically just want to lose weight and get fit, how important is it for me to increase my speed and agility?
It's more of adding a stimulus. So for instance, for that person who is always doing something linear, they're more likely to get hurt if they suddenly get an outside force going laterally. So it's good to add different angles, different movement patterns. That's how, when you're in the same pattern all the time, that's how the feet get weak. That's how you get more susceptible to rolling an ankle, to the other things. So it's nice to have that variety in. But again, if someone's only going linear all the time, I wouldn't give them the most advanced step or the most advanced exercise or movement. I would start them slowly, progress them into it.
Really?
So yeah, and it can be a really good fitness thing too. So depending on how I structure what movement and how much rest Sabrina would get in between the movement, that can play into a fitness training thing with a ton more variety and fun than your average plodding away on a treadmill.
Well, it's interesting because I don't think a lot of people, like for example, if you were training for a marathon, I don't think a lot of people would think that you need to do a whole lot of that side to side, over the box, the ladder, that kind of training.
Will I be doing that kind of thing as I train for my marathon?
It's something that I will not neglect lateral movements, because if you're too linear, you're going to break down in your glute medius, your hips, you're going to start to break down in other...
My gluteus
Yes,
max
ma'am.
is breaking down.
No. So we will have to mix in some lateral movement, but because you're training for a marathon, it's not going to be a priority. It's going to be something that, you need a mental and physical change once in a while from doing the other work, and something laterally so you're not completely linear all the time. And it'll help with your coordination so that you're feeling like you're still firing instead of just plodding along. So we'll add it in to mix it up, but for marathon training, it's simply not the priority.
Can I tell you, for probably the first time, my brain was really stimulated doing this, because there was a lot of right brain, left brain working situation. I had to actually think about how to move and when I'm crossing my feet. And
a huge component, adds to the coordination and training. And if someone's in sport, they've got to think what's going on instead of just one thing. So in a way to advance it, I might throw a ball in there. So when you're doing the ladder, you've got to glance up, catch a ball, throw it back while your feet are doing this perfect movement along the way. So there's a lot you can add to it to make it more sport specific, depending what the sport is, or to make it more fun. If someone's bored with their workouts, like, that's a lot more fun, a lot more stimulating and challenging than, like I said, plodding away on the elliptical training or whatever it is.
oh yeah, that was way more fun than just running on a treadmill.
In fact, you can make anything more fun just by throwing a ball at
Well,
somebody.
I
no matter
like to
what
do
they're
that.
doing.
I do that a lot in warm-ups. Catch a ball, you miss it, 5 push-ups. Oh, darn it.
That's a fantastic idea. Well,
Yeah,
We should get you out and start tossing
I
some
was just
medicine
waiting for
balls
somebody
at
to throw me
you.
a ball any minute now.
It's a coffee mug here. There's no balls, so they're
Yeah,
going to chuck a
that's-
coffee mug at you.
Not
All
as
right.
good.
Quickly, before we go, how often should we incorporate agility training into our workout regimen?
If it's a sport that has a huge focus of agility, then I might mix it in 2 to 3 times a week. If it's something just to mix things up, it might be once every 2 weeks.
All right.
So,
It was fun. Look forward to the next one.
excellent.
Thanks, Kari.
Have a great day.
All right.
Appreciate
206 Piccadilly Street or empowerconditioning.com is where you can find them.
Got a fantastic documentary coming up with some amazing artwork. But first, let's take a look at today's